Hey everybody, it's Reviews and More, back with another quick outdoor review. This is the Ceyomur CY70 trail cam, and it's available on Amazon for $59 right now, and I believe there's a 10% off internal coupon with Amazon, so you can get it for about 55 bucks, with tax probably still be about $60. Now, as always, before we start the review up, please take the time to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and helps out everything related to just me producing more stuff like this. So, the main specs for this camera for this trail cam is it's going to mount up with that little strap right there. Fairly simple. One big gripe I have, little gripe, is it uses plastic parts. I wish they were metal, makes them a little more sturdy. Comes with a little USB cord right there for if you want to transfer files directly from it. I don't think that's really necessary. It uses a standard SD card for its storage. It has a 2.7K camera, so it can film in up to 2.7K or 24 megapixels for stills. It works extremely well, and if you want to skip to the end of the video, you'll see basically some video of a coyote as well as a very fat raccoon and some squirrels during the daytime, just to show the camera itself actually working. One cool thing about this is there is an internal LCD inside of the camera case itself, so you actually get to preview what you film out in the field if you want to. So this is a good camera if you're like taking this thing like deep in the woods, if you're like, you know, hunters want to track an animal or see what's out there. They don't have to sit there and hook their phone up to it, or God forbid just take the SD card home with them and figure out what was there and then take it back out. You can actually go out, look, and replay the actual videos that take place, and you can see what happened out there in the field without actually just taking everything apart and having to go back and forth. Now, it is powered by 8 AA batteries that come in right where that little panel was just removed in the video. The LCD display, I think it's about like maybe 1 by 1.5. It's not a giant display, but you can see very well with it, and you'll see that in just a moment when I kind of run through a miner's test of it. And once you get the batteries in there, you have a little switch at the bottom that you can set it to settings, off, or ready for the field. So like when it's furthest to the left, it's off. When it's on, it's basically ready to go and like start being used in the field. And then there's the setup, which you're going to see me kind of run through here. You just basically got to set the language first, and then you run through the date and time and the date time format. Really basic, normal stuff. I actually did this without looking at the manual. It's very intuitive. It's not really difficult to do. They're pretty standard at this level, but all I had to do was figure out what the time was, and then I was ready to go. There are 3 primary modes on this trail cam. The first obviously is photo. There's also video and photo, which basically means that if once the sensor goes off, it'll take some quick snapshots, and then it'll also take a video of whatever this makes the sensor go off. So you have the option to have photo, video, or photo and video, depending on what your needs are. If you do photo and video, it's not taking them at the same exact time. What it's doing is it's prioritizing, saying, all right, they're going to I believe it is the video first and then does pictures, and then there might be situations where you don't want to do that. It worked out fine for me. I got some basic video of some animals there, but there you see the adjusting the date and time. Very, very simple process. And then once the date and time is set up, it'll basically alert you here that there's no SD card in there, but you can pull it in later. It's a fairly responsive camera. Not perfect, but also it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be zero delay on the camera because it's not designed for that purpose. Next, we got to jump back into the settings. You see the replay button down there. We'll look at that later on. First thing you do is set the mode. You can set it to photo, video, and there's photo, video, as I mentioned earlier. This is also where you set up your intervals for how long you want the photo to take place for, how long you want the video to take place for, how sensitive you want the receiver to be. You essentially just making it, obviously the more sensitive you make it, the more easily it'll basically go off and take a picture of whatever it thinks is moving. You can adjust the shutter speed in the photo section. You can make the image size different sizes. Really just depends on your size of SD card. One thing I will say this is that the video will run down the camera power, especially at night, because it uses infrared lights, obviously. So just keep that in mind. You can change the resolution from 1080p to various different sizes. So I kept it at 1080p because that's the videos I produce for YouTube, but it goes up to 2.7K. So you should be able to make a nice, high-quality video that you'll see some samples of towards the end, or if you just want to skip, you can go towards the end. Once you get that all set up, essentially all you have to do after this point is just make sure there's an SD card in it and swing that bottom switch over to the right, and it'll give you a warning saying, hey, this thing's about to start taking pictures. And then you just make sure it's mounted to a tree or to a little tripod wherever you have it set up, and then it's good to go from there. Now, it uses a standard SD card. I grabbed my cheapest spare SD card that I have, that I've had basically, I think, for over a decade now. It's an older SD card, and it worked just fine. It's an old 32 gig SD card. Mounts right there. And once you set up the settings, you can actually go back and look at the replays. There's no replays on this because it's blank at this point, but you're going to see a quick test here. When you press replay, it'll just show you the most recent video, but you can scroll through using the various arrows, and you can look at everything that you took pictures of. You can take a manual shot. That's the shot button on the right-hand side there. And overall, it's very user-friendly and intuitive, which is very nice. Again, I didn't even look at the directions. I kind of was able to figure it out just kind of walking through it. And there you see the recording happening. If you press the shot button with the video on, you will take a short video. If you press the shot button with the photo option highlighted, you'll take a photo. So that's how you run through it. Now, once you press the replay button, then you're going to see the replay of anything you just recently did, and you can scroll through it. Alright, so here's our first real test. We're going to flip the thing off. This is just to make sure it worked out of the box, because you don't want to put this thing up on a tree and then waste your time and then have it not work at all. But this was just getting it ready, closing it up. At this point, I was kind of shaking it around just to get the sensor to go off. This is under several sets of lights, so it's not going to make the infrared go off, but you'll see the infrared working in just a moment once the lights are switched off in the room, because those will automatically turn on, and they are effective, and they do put out a good bit of infrared light and make it a very effective night photography. And here you see the infrared LEDs come on, and what you're going to see for the remainder of the video is just very quickly me running through the replay process. All you have to do is open it up, turn it back to the setup tab, and then press replay, and you can cycle through all the videos that the camera has taken. You just got to press the arrow button, cycle through them. After that, you will see actual recordings of the wildlife that are in my backyard where I hooked this thing up. And what, again, I really like is the fact you can hear audio. So this thing picks up audio, so you get to hear like bird calls or the noise they make. You get to hear the sounds of the woods, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of interesting. So you get to hear the actual animals themselves, which adds just a more depth to it, which makes it more fun. So hopefully you like the video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. The remainder of this video is just various videos of a coyote, a big fat raccoon, some squirrels, and then some still shots of the same thing. Great product. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night.